First things first, pledge loan does not do a hard inquiry on your profile.
Navy Federal is the largest credit union. So when you're doing the pledge loan, you're building up a relationship. There's no hard inquiry. You're paying way less interest. I could really go into the details, but you're paying less interest to get the same thing done.
I don't want you guys to make this mistake. If you leave a $10 balance, a $10, Navy Federal will...
Fed pledge loan is, in my opinion, I think it's the #1 tool for people who are trying to get their credit back where it needs to be. Then once you're continuing to do that, Navy Federal is looking at you like, all right, they're gonna like you more. They're gonna respect you more. They're gonna understand you more. That way, when you request your credit limit increase or when you try to get an unsecured credit card, Navy Federal is like, all right, we see you in our database already. All right, we rock with you. Here's that $25,000 credit.
How can a person join Navy Federal if they're not already a part of Navy Federal?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. So they've heard people talk about pledge loan before, and everybody hypes it up like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. It is, but let's see how we can use it to better our credit profile. So very quickly, I'm not going to go super in depth, but what is that Navy Fed pledge loan? So if I wanted to build my credit, let's say my credit wasn't where it needed to be, right? I put $3,000 in my Navy Fed savings account. I call Navy Fed and say, yo, I need to open up a pledge loan, or specifically it's called a certificate pledge loan. What Navy Fed is going to do, point number 2, they're going to take that $3,000 and they're going to lock it into a CD, a certificate of deposit. They're going to lock it. Then they're going to loan me back $3K, right? You watch that? I put my own $3K in, they lock it in a certificate of deposit. Navy Fed loans me that $3K back. Now, it doesn't have to be $3K. It could be whatever amount you got. If you got 1,000, cool. If you got 500, cool. It can go up to 100,000. So if you really want to milk this for all it's worth, you can do it. But I'm just giving you guys just easy numbers. What you can do after a few days, you want to take that 3,000 that they gave you and you want to pay off 90% of that loan. Probably maybe a couple of days. Some people say, oh, wait 30, 45 days.
Right.
It's cool. It's cool. But just make sure you pay 90% down. That means that $2,700 comes back into my pocket, right back in my pocket. It didn't go nowhere, back in my pocket. $300 is going to remain in that certificate of deposit, and it's going to be amortized over the course of 60 months. So think of that. It's like you financing a product for $300 over 60 months. The payments are going to be pennies, if not like $1 and some change, right? Super cheap. This is going to allow you to get a primary trade line reporting to your credit profile. Not an authorized user, because I know everybody loves to say, oh, just get some AUs. No. You're not doing that. No.
Right.
Banks want to see, I'm giving you the real. Banks want to see, can your name, are you responsible? Can you take a loan out and pay it back? Right. Can you do that? Not your mama, not your wife. Can you do that? This is why the Navy Fed pledge loan is so impactful, because you can take your own money and just keep doing this over and over and over again. Now, let me go to the next slide, because I know we on a time crunch. I have like at least 3 or 4 Navy Fed videos on my channel. One girl, she put a comment. She said, you mean to tell me that I'm gonna put my own money, I'm gonna give it to the bank, and then I'm gonna borrow the money back from the bank, and I gotta pay interest on my own money? That's what she said in the comment. I gotta pay interest on my own money? Yeah, you do. If your credit is not good, you're paying somebody. You're paying somebody.
Right,
Look
every time.
Screen.
For real.
Look at the screen. It might be small, y'all, but work with me. You can zoom it in on your phone. Look at those numbers. If you got bad credit or subprime credit, you try to get a car note. Compare that to somebody that got 740, 760, a well-rounded credit profile. You spending close to $10,000 more on the same car just because you had bad credit. So what would you rather do? Would you rather pay, because on the pledge loan, the interest rate is like 2% or 3%, something small.
Yeah. Would
you rather pay 2-3% on the $300 remaining loan, or would you be like, I'm not paying nobody. I ain't paying no bank. What you mean I'm going to borrow money? Okay, if you have bad credit, you're going to be paying way more than you need to. You're going to be paying more in security deposit. You're going to be paying more interest. Your mortgage, look at that on the upper right, 2.67 interest rates compared to 3.17. You're going to be spending $30,000 more. That can go to your retirement. That can go to your kids. That can go to a down payment to get you an investment property. So you got to pay somebody to invest in yourself. That's flat out. So don't think, oh, I got to pay the... Nah, bro. Invest in yourself. Think about that. Invest in yourself, right? Now, we talked briefly about, okay, there's a lot of different products out there. Yeah. Self is one. Matter of fact, just so y'all know I'm not pump faking, right? Every product I talk about on my channel, I use. At least just so I can give you the real. Self is something that does something similar. $25 a month for 24 months. You can go up to $150. Notice in the bottom right, see where I'm putting my little cursor? $150 a month. That's the cost That's the cost that you have to pay to Self just to use their biggest product, $533. Self is going to do similar things. It's going to add an installment loan. Once you pay 4 months in, you can get the secure card, which is going to give you a revolving account. That's good. I like Self. It's just not messing with Navy Federal at all, right? Let me go one over. Credit Strong. You mentioned Credit Strong. I like Credit Strong. I actually used back in the day. They had their the Magnum XL plan or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh
man, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that. I got that just so I wanted to demo it. Here's the issue. And yo, listen to me, please. $49 a month. Okay, cool. That's going to report $2,500 installment. $99 a month. That's going to report $5,000 installment. Okay, cool. It's going to demonstrate that you can pay your obligation. It's going to boost your credit. It is going to do that. But let's scroll down. These are the pros and cons. Let's look at the cons on the Credit Strong. You plan to apply for a home loan soon and are concerned about your DTI, your debt to income ratio. People don't think about that. If you guys are getting these mega jumbo installment loans, like a Credit Strong, and no knock to them, because there's a purpose for them. But if you get this huge installment loan, you just put on your credit profile and it's not paid down, the bank is going to look at you like, wait a second, you coming to me asking for money, you coming to me asking for a mortgage, but then you owe Credit Strong $30,000. You overextended yourself. I can't give you that mortgage. You can't get that house. That's DTI. When you do the Navy Fed pledge loan, because you're paying down that 90%, you don't run into this problem. There is no DTI issue. You're getting all of the benefits, installment loan, positive payment history, blah, blah. You're getting everything, but you're not running into that problem. So that's really pledge loan, Credit Strong, Self, all these things are out there. But the beauty about Navy Federal, you're not going to run into any of the cons because you're getting your money pretty much right back in the same week or in the same month if you want to wait, right? So now what's the real benefit? The real benefit of this. You're building a relationship with the largest credit union in the country. We know about internal ratings. We know about relationship building. We heard all that. The beauty of doing that is Navy Federal, they're really known for giving high credit card limits. Everybody always puts that in the Facebook group. Yo, I got a 25K cash rewards. I got a 30,000 more rewards card. Boom, they flexing on Facebook, right? And they doing that. Can you go to Self and play yourself? Can you give me a 30K credit card? But they're gonna tell me no. Oh, right, Credit Strong. Hey, can you give me a 50K credit card unsecured on the business side? Credit Strong's like, no, that's not what we do. We don't do that. Navy Federal is the largest credit union. So when you're doing the pledge loan, you're building up a relationship. There's no hard inquiry. You're paying way less interest. I could really go into the details, but you're paying less interest to get the same thing done. Then once you're continuing to do that, Navy Federal is looking at you like, all right, this person did one pledge loan. He paid it back. Cool. Okay, bet. He got a credit card. Okay, cool. They're going to like you more. They're going to respect you more. They're going to understand you more. That way, when you request your credit limit increase or when you try to get an unsecured credit card, Navy Federal is like, all right, we see you in our database already. All right, we rock with you. Here you go. Here's that $25,000 credit card. This is a repeatable system. So how can I use it? So everybody's on Facebook. Oh, Navy Federal is the best. Right. How can we practically take this information and use it to impact our lives? Right. Here's what I would do. I would open up a pledge loan. Let's say I had $1,000. I open up a pledge loan, put $1,000 in there. I pay off 90% almost immediately. I got $900 back in my pocket. I take the $900. You know about the End Reward Secure Card.
Yeah.
I would take a couple $100 from that. Okay. $900 they gave me back. Now I open up an End Rewards card. And then I will take the remaining amount. I'll go to Discover and get the Discover It card. So with $1,000, I got a pledge loan from Navy Federal. I got the End Rewards card from Navy Federal. That's going to unsecure in about 6 months. Now I got a Discover It card that's going to unsecure in about 6 to 8 months, maybe 12 months. So by the end of the year, I got 3 primary, again, that's the key word, primary trade lines reporting every single month. And then at the end of the term, I get all my money back minus the little bit of interest that I gave Navy Fed. Now I got 2 credit cards, an installment loan. My credit is better. Now I can go get some unsecured cards. I can, you know what I'm saying? I can do whatever I want right now. Right. Now the world is open. You get what I'm saying? So in my opinion, this is how we need to be utilizing these type of products. Not just do it randomly, do it specifically, get your credit profile strong, and then start to apply for the credit cards that you want. Because if you try to apply for the credit cards that you want and your credit profile is not where it needs to be, you're just going to accrue hard inquiries and you won't be disappointed. So that's it, man. That's it. That's my Cliff Notes for you, man. Hopefully y'all got that.
Man, absolutely. No, man, you dropped gems today, man. You most definitely dropped some gems today because you know what? You said something real key. And guys, listen, I want you guys to understand something. You know, as you're going through your credit journeys, right? You're going to hear about, like he mentioned, credit strong, right? Joel also mentioned self. And we're not saying, listen, we're not knocking them. We're just saying that there is a better option. There's something that's out there, right? And not only that, but listen, you guys are hearing it from someone who's actually tried them all. But he got the most bang from the Navy Federal Pledge Loan. Now, here's the thing, real quick, Joel, before we let everybody get up out of here. How can a person join Navy Federal if they're not already a part of Navy Federal?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. So the easiest way to do it, you gotta, if you're not military affiliated, hopefully you got a spouse, you got a family member that was affiliated. If you have a roommate that was military affiliated, what I'll say is this: do not pay somebody that you found on Facebook, IG that's like, yo, I got the plug for Navy Fed.
Right.
Cash at me $300. I got you. And don't do that. I don't know if you guys remember, but late last year, there were several account closings from Navy Fed. They were shutting down accounts, and people were looking around like, yo, what's going on? I believe that people that are abusing and misusing, selling their invitations and all that, they don't like that. So if you can't get in legitimately, again, go to their website. It'll show you if you're, Navy Reserve, ROTC. There's a whole list. If you're not it, hopefully your spouse is, hopefully your father-in-law is, hopefully somebody in your circle is military affiliated. They can join Navy Federal and then bring you in with you. But trust me, y'all, do not go on Facebook paying some random folk to sign up with their link, and then you don't know what they're doing. So if Navy Federal audits their account and they look at their sphere, now your accounts are closed. Take care of this. That's the last thing I'm gonna say. All of these accounts, you're gonna be putting a lot of work in. Take care of them, man. This is precious, right?
Absolutely. No, man, you hit it right on the head, man. They know about, the flagship, they heard about the credit cards, things of that sort, but that's not all the products they got, guys. And you got to maximize that. And so now you guys got the steps. He just gave you the whole play on the Navy Federal Pledge Loan. So make sure you guys put some action behind it. But here's the deal. Listen, Joel talks about this stuff all the time. He's always giving out the game. He's always giving out gems. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out his channel, Money Codes on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel today. All right, guys. And Joel, real quick, is there any other tips, anything that you want to leave the audience with before we get up out of here?
Well, everything I went over today is essentially repeatable, right? Like how you mentioned right now, everybody sees the flagship credit cards on Facebook. Somebody stunting 50K, 60K credit cards. That is 100% doable. But nobody, not you, not me, not a bank, is going to give somebody 50K unsecured if they don't trust you, if they don't know you. Take care of your credit profile. Trust me. We're going to do another video shortly, and I'm going to give you more insight, but make sure whatever accounts that you have, keep the utilization under 30, ideally under 10. Make sure you're paying on time. Make sure you're doing the fundamentals. That way you can use that as a springboard to get those 30, 40, 50K credit lines. And then we're going to talk about funding sequences later, but I'm not going to go into that now. But trust me, your credit profile is the golden goose. I'm going to talk about SBSS in another video, but your credit profile is the golden goose. If you want real money in the credit game, your credit profile is everything. All right, that's it.
Nice. Well, thanks again, Joel. We greatly appreciate your time, man. Thanks for sliding through. And listen, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Joel. But listen, guys, we'll see you all on the next video.
Most people don't know about the pledge loan, and I don't want you guys to mess up. Pledge loan does not do a hard inquiry on your profile. It'll show on your credit report. At the same time, your credit score is going up. Mine went up 20 points. So this, I'm going to tell you guys a big gem right here, because the people want to hear this, Calvin, because I don't want you guys to make this mistake. If you leave a $10 balance...
Listen, I know you guys know everything about the Navy Federal Pledge Loan, but this is something you guys need to pay attention to so you can make sure you're maximizing it. My guy, Mr. Econ Bulldog.
Hey, I'm right here, Calvin, ready to get this pledge loan information to the people. How you guys doing? Econ Bulldog, Calvin, thank you for having me on. This information I'm about to give you, most people don't know about the pledge loan, and I don't want you guys to mess up. First things first, pledge loan does not do a hard inquiry on your profile. And for most of you that like, what is a pledge loan? It is a loan that you're putting up your own money. So if the money's in your checking or savings account, you're putting up the money. So let's say for this example, I did 70,000. Okay, so we did 70,000. Myself and FICO father, I got to give credit when due, and we did 70,000. This is how we did it, so you guys don't make the same mistake. He had some capital, I had some capital. We merged that. It made up 70,000. He was my co-applicant on the pledge loan. The correct term is my sponsor. So he sponsored me. So the check had my name and his name. He then got the check, put it in his account, right? Cashed all the 70,000, and then paid off the loan that I had with me. So the only reason we left a $10 balance, as you can see right there, 1060, because I don't want you guys to make this mistake. If you leave a $10 balance, a $10, Navy Federal will close it because they're not making money off it anymore. Okay. And another thing is when you do the pledge loan, and you can pay it off in a day, 2 days, 3 days, right? We paid it off the next day. It'll show right there how much interest was gained. So off this loan specifically, I think we were charged probably like $7 because we let it sit for a day or two. So now with this loan, like I said, it'll show on your credit report 99% paid off. You're adding an internal score with Navy Federal. Okay. At the same time, your credit score is going up. Mine went up 20 points because of the added loan. And now, if I want to go to Navy Federal and I say, hey, can I borrow 50,000? Right, with the right data points, they should have no problem giving it to me. And now another thing is that once you do that, your minimum payment 1070 is due on 8/24/2027. So you don't have to worry about nothing for the next 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
Another thing with pledge loan is that you can do multiple. So this, I'm gonna tell you guys a big gem right here because the people want to hear this, Calvin. So if I have $10,000 and I want to make more money, right? What I would do is I would charge anyone that wants a pledge loan from me of $10,000. I would charge $1,500. So what I do is I'll do for Calvin 1,500. I'll do one for Susie, right? And then I'll do one for Mary. Okay, so I just made 4,500 right there off of my 10,000, and I'll do it the same way, where it's obviously preferred if they live in your same city. That way, if you need to go to the branch, you can go together and stuff like that. You can do it over the phone. It is a little bit more like 45 minutes of a hassle. You can do it over the phone, but you're making money off your money.
Wow.
Okay. So
now, how are you able to do that? So do they allow you to essentially add people onto the pledge loan? Is that how that works? Or
so you're the sponsor.
Wow.
So I want to be the sponsor for Calvin. All right, sir. Are we taking the money from your account? Yes. Take the money from my account. I want to be the name on the check because they'll tell you, do you want it to deposit in your account or do you want a check? Because we wanted to show, like, look, guys, we're doing a $70,000 pledge loan. We did a check.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So you heard it directly from the source, Mr. Econ Bulldog, dropping the gems per usual. None of this means anything if you're not applying this information. But if you want more videos like this, you're trying to get this information, be sure to subscribe to Econ Bulldog today. All right. So he's most definitely going to be dropping more gems on his channel. Thanks again for stopping by the channel. We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you, Colin, for having me on. Appreciate you, man.
Federal Credit Union Pledge Loan. This has been out for quite some time. A lot of people have been using the Navy Federal Pledge Loan as a resource to help them improve their credit scores. So, Toby, what are your thoughts on that? Have there been any changes so far with that, or is it still working the same in your opinion?
Yeah, it's still working the same. For people who don't know what the Navy Federal Pledge Loan and why it's considered a hack, so Navy Federal is actually, I don't know of any other federal credit or credit union. I think there's one more, but basically it's a secure loan. So let's just say I'm going to do my best to explain it. So let's say I have $1,000, right? I'm trying to build up my credit. I basically give Navy Federal $1,000. So it's a secure loan, right? Then Navy Federal gives that money back. That's the difference between a secure loan with another credit union or another bank. They actually give you the money back. Most credit unions don't give you the money back until the term turns to unsecured. So you give $1,000, they give it to you back a few days later as in a form of a loan. So in their eyes, you owe them $1,000, even though it's your money. Then you pay off 90% of it, right? And the reason you do that is because you want to show lenders that you got a loan and you were able to pay it off right away, and you just leave like 10% or 5% and keep making payments on those. That way you have on-time payments, you build up that age. But that is essentially the hack, right? It's a good way to build your credit if you're starting from zero, if you don't have any credit, because you get that installment loan on your credit, and you're manufacturing a trade line because it's essentially your own money. So you can go. I've seen people go $100,000 for that secure pledge loan because then they'll be able to show the banks that they have a $100,000 trade line that was paid off right away. So that's what people utilize that for.
Wow. So is there a limit on how much you can actually spend to get a Navy Federal Pledge Loan that you know of, or no?
That's a great question. I don't know what the limit is. I know someone who did $100,000 though.
Wow. Okay, but That in itself, I'm sure. I'm not knocking my audience.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So now the next thing is someone asked a question the other day, and it was a very good question. I want to save it for this interview. Someone asked the question the other day, and they said, "How many pledge loans is there a limit? I guess to how many a person could open with Navy Federal?"
I don't know. I don't know if there's a limit. I know people who do like three pledge loans at a time. I don't know. I don't think there is a limit because it's essentially just an installment loan that you're creating and you're securing with your own money. I mean, I'm sure there probably is a limit, but I don't know the limit off the top of my head. I haven't done the research for that. But I know people who do like three pledge loans at a time, because that way that creates another trade line. Basically, it's just an installment loan. That's viewed to the lender and on the credit report as an installment loan, similar to like a personal loan or auto loan. So I don't know the exact I don't know if there's a limit or not, but I know people who do like three pledge loans at a time.